Okay, take two. I already filmed an intro and I didn't like it because I want to get straight to the point today. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing great. My name's Sadie. If you're new here, nice to meet you. My episodes are normally actually pretty different than this. I haven't gotten deep here in a minute, but today I do think I want to get deep. Literally can't be serious. I'm being serious. We're going to get deep today. Today I want to talk about, I might take this off. What am I from? Boston? Sorry. Today I want to talk about perspective. I, over the years, 100 million% have gained a new perspective. I feel like I'm at a point in my life now where my perspective is what keeps me going, what keeps my anxieties away, what keeps the stress levels down. And it's taken me a while to get here. And the things that I thought would get me to the point of stress-free, trying to just like appreciate every day and have gratitude, the things I thought would make me feel that way didn't. And the things that I didn't think about are what do help me feel that way, if that makes any sense. I don't know, this was a little confusing. So today I'm talking about a perspective that forever changed my life. I'm going to bring this back to when I was a child, to when I was about 14 years old in 8th grade. I don't think I've ever really spoken about this way. I've told my whole story online before, but I was kind of money hungry when I was a kid, believe it or not. I was a money hungry kid. I constantly was thinking, how am I going to make money? How am I going to be able to graduate and have a job or save up money before I graduate to be able to go travel? I don't want a job where I'm sitting in a cubicle. I don't want to be, I just basically wanted something where I can make a lot of money. I remember my mom growing up was always like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? And I always wanted to be a teacher. As I got older, I was like, being a teacher financially isn't going to do it for the life I want to live. Like, I want to be able to travel and go do all these things. And being a teacher, I was just money hungry. I was literally, from being a child, I wanted to be able to be successful in the financial area, which is weird because I have such a great family. And like, my whole neighborhood was amazing. And none of us, I would say, were by any means like rolling in dough, rolling in money. Like, none of us really were. I would say it was a pretty middle class situation. I grew up in a very wealthy area where there was a lot of families that did have a good amount of money. But I feel like my family and families we are close with didn't necessarily have a ton of money. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to be an influencer. I wanted to do that kind of stuff. And so I was constantly stressed about, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? I didn't have a lot of friends. So I never had that idea of, I'm going to go to college with my best friend. It's going to be so fun. I want to graduate, get the fuck out of my hometown. And how am I going to do it with no money? I went and interviewed at Kroger when I was like 14. I was going to get a job there. I then was going to work at like a pet grooming place. I don't know why neither of these ever worked out. I think because my parents were going to have to drive me, and my parents both worked when I was growing up. And then I wound up getting a nannying job where I was nannying for a family. And this was like my sophomore or junior year of high school. I was nannying for a family and babysitting. And that's how I was making money. And while I was doing this, I had a YouTube channel. I was making YouTube videos, editing them, somehow pulled off Vlogmas. If you don't know what Vlogmas is, it's 25 days of the month of December where you post a vlog every day. I was doing that. I was grinding. I was really grinding. And I wasn't doing YouTube for the money. I was doing YouTube because I enjoyed it. And I was thinking this could maybe be my way out. Okay. But the main point I want to hit there is I, as a child, was so stressed, had so much worries and anxieties because I didn't know what my future held. And I wanted to have control over everything. And I had so much fear of what if this doesn't work out? I just was so stressed out about my future and what it held. Fast forward to today, I would say the perspective that has forever changed my life is life is not all about me, which sounds crazy coming from someone who I feel like talks about their life all the time online, literally for a living. I film myself. I film my life. I tell you guys about my life. And that is literally my job. It was always hard for me to come on here and talk about this stuff and talk about how I'm so grateful, and you have to be grateful, and you have to appreciate where you are, and you have to count your blessings, and like money isn't everything, all of that stuff. It was so hard for me to talk about because I'm like, how can I sit here and say that when I've gotten everything I wanted? I literally dreamed of this job as a kid, and when I was 16 years old, 15 years old, I think, I don't know, it fell into my lap and it worked. I got lucky. I view it as that. I dreamed of doing it. I really worked for it. It was my passion. But so many people have the same dream, have the same passion, and they don't get it. So for me, I'm like, I got lucky. 2, with doing this, I've been able to create so many other dreams for myself. I've loved the beach my whole entire life. I've gotten to move to the beach and live in Florida, things like that. And so it was just like, I'm sitting in this new car I film my podcast out of, and I'm just like, how can I sit here and tell someone else who is like, I work my ass off, I say my prayers every single night, I feel hopeless all the time, I don't have a lot of love in my life, I don't feel like I have a lot of courage every day, I'm having to get up every day and go sit in a cubicle. How am I supposed to sit here and say you have to be happy where you are and it's about the little things in life? I only know that because of where I am and because I've gotten the things I wanted. Honestly, yeah. But I think it takes people to get the things that they thought would make them happy, would make their life and world go round, to realize, oh, but it's not about those things. The number one thing I want to talk about, gratitude. Having gratitude no matter where you are. When I was around 14 and I was going through this stress and just was like a sad kid, like truth be told, I was just a sad kid. I didn't have the maturity to look around in my life and go, holy shit, I have 2 parents who love me, who would do anything for me, who just my dad works his ass off every day just to make his kids happy and to support his family. My mom is the most loving, selfless human being in the world. She really, really is. She is so selfless. I had 2 brothers. I had a neighborhood full of support and love. So many people I could reach out to, and so many like support systems. I took it for granted growing up. I never had gratitude towards that. I obviously am grateful now looking back, and I think there was times when I would probably realize, oh, I'm so lucky to have this person, but I didn't think, oh, wow, like I should be really grateful for this. Because some people in their life, growing up especially, they don't have one person that they feel like loves them. They don't have one support system they feel that they can lean on. They don't have anyone to go talk to. Someone listening to this right now is possibly maybe in those shoes. They don't have anyone to go talk to. Or if you don't have anyone to go speak to, or anyone you feel like you can trust with something, or just hell, even kids I grew up with, they didn't really have the support system in their lives to figure out, okay, where do I want to go to college? I knew some people that were like, I don't even have the choice to go to college. I can't afford college. My parents can't pay for it. There's so many little things in life that we overlook that we need to be grateful for. And I really hope he doesn't care I talk about this. I don't think he will, but I have a friend who I was with him like 2 weeks ago, and he was talking to me about his little brothers, and he was showing me pictures of them, and they were both in wheelchairs. And I was like, do you care if I ask why they're in wheelchairs? And I could be saying this completely wrong. I'm not 100% sure what exactly it was, but what I think it was is they both had a bone disease and they can't really move around and they can't really do much. I'm not exactly sure, like I said, but the very first thing I asked him was, do you think that shaped your life a lot differently? And I was interested to see what he said, because I didn't know if he was going to be like, oh yeah, like I had to help out a ton when they were growing up or whatever. And what he said was the exact thing I feel like I wanted to hear. And not that there was a wrong answer, but he said, oh, it changed my whole perspective on life. He was like, I just realized, like, he was like, I don't want to spend a day not getting up. Like, I wake up and I get up and I get going. And I know that there's always people out there who have it worse than you, and there's always going to be someone who has it better. But I really think having gratitude for where you are is so, so important, because if you don't like where you are, change it. And I know it's so much easier said than done. And I have always feared saying these things online because, like I said, to some people, they're able to just look at me for a second and go, oh, fucking girl who had a good life growing up and now she's making money on social media. Why the hell would I listen to a word she said? I hated my life. I was so sad. I had no gratitude. I didn't think for a second, oh my God, I have the ability to walk around. I have the ability to breathe. I have hair on my head. I have, like, there's just so many things that we don't think about that other people have no control over. I mean, your health is the biggest thing ever. Like, if you have your health, you have a lot. The second that your health drops off, the second that you have a health issue that really disturbs your life, money's not fixing that. Can't go get a job that's going to fix it. Like, your health, you should be so, so grateful every single day for your health. And that's for anyone, whether you have money, whether you don't, whether you have your dream job, whether you don't, whether you live in your dream location or you don't. If you have your health, be grateful. Be grateful for that. When I was going through a breakup, my first ever breakup, or not my first ever breakup, I was going through a heartbreak, and I also at the time felt really lost. This happened when I was like right before I turned 20, right? Right after I turned 20. Early 20s is hard because you already feel so lost and things like that. And that was exactly how I felt. And I would say during this heartbreak and this time of like loneliness and not really knowing what the hell I was doing, it was definitely the closest I had felt at hard depression since being a child. And when I was like 14 trying to figure my life out, I kind of felt like I was back in those shoes again. I would say that is when I got the perspective of life isn't all about me. And I know it's kind of like, what? Like, what does that mean? Because you can scroll on social media and you can see so many videos, and I'm sure I've even said it before, of be selfish, figure out who you want to be, do what you want to do, think about yourself. And I think in retrospect, yes, but as time has gone on and as the older I've gotten, I've realized, holy shit, the more I think about myself, the more worries I have, the more stress I have, the more anxiety I have. When I think more about others and us humans as a whole, you feel better. Let me get into it. I wrote down, we would all be lying if we said we didn't want to ever fall in love. I think every human being on this planet at one point or another does long for love, romance of some sort, maybe not even romance, maybe just love from anyone. Love is a key factor of life. Without love, what's the point of life? If love did not exist, what are we all here for? What are we all doing? Just trying to make money to then roll in dust? Like, what's the point? If there was no such thing as love, as happiness, as like joy, why would we be here? Imagine everyone just having a stagnant personality and just very like, just trying to make money, whatever. What would the point be? If there was no love, fun, joy, happiness, like there would be no point in life necessarily. When I was going through this heartbreak, all I could think about was this person. Like, I was just in the mindset of, I will never love someone like that again. That is the only person for me. I don't want to live without them. I put so much time into them, put so much love into them, put so much effort into them. I don't want to let it go, and they can go off and find someone else, and I will sit here and I will still love that person, and that's my one and only. Like, I was in this mindset of, I can't move on. I cannot move forward in my life without this. Like, I didn't know what to do. And I don't know, I guess I'm like a lover girl at heart, realistically, but I had just never experienced something like that before. I had never gone through a heartbreak where I was like, no, I don't care about anything other than this person. Like, that was genuinely how I felt. So I sulked in sadness for a while. I just literally was sad. I was depressed. I spent every single day in my room. I would journal. I would read my Bible. I would pray. I would make videos here and there. And I just didn't know what to do. And I kind of just sat around and I sat in the sadness. And realistically, like when I think back to that time, all I really was thinking about was me. I wasn't thinking about anything else or anyone else. I was just kind of like, what do I do? What do I do to feel better? Because I want to be happy. I need to find another guy. I need to find love again. If I can find love again, I can move on from this. And I remember I sat down with my mom one night and I was like, I don't think people are truly happy and at peace until they find the love of their life. Once you find the love of your life and you're like actually married and settled down, that's when you're truly happy. And my mom actually is like so good with me as a daughter because I'm a thought-ass daughter, not like thought sleeping around, but like thought, like I fucking think, okay? I overthink everything. And she always, I feel like, lets me go through the motions myself. And I'm really grateful because, if someone sits down and they give you all the answers, similar to like what I'm doing right now, but I feel like I'm just podcasting. If someone sits down and they tell you like all the answers and exactly what you need to do and like, oh, you're wrong about this is actually how it is. You're kind of like, you can't obtain all that information and believe it. You have to go through life and experience things to then learn them yourself. And I remember when I said that to my mom, she was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know if when you get married, that's like the answers to all your problems and things like that. I don't know. It's not. It's really not. And if you think that, I will tell you it's not. I mean, I've never been married, but I will tell you from someone living life and who has reached, I feel like, peak happiness and trust and faith in the universe and God, you don't need to be married to feel at peace. You don't have to be in love with someone to feel at peace. You don't have to have a boy or a girl in your life to have love in your life. There's so much love around. And like, truth be told, I would love to be a mom one day. I dream of having children. I really, really do. It's like, I feel like in a past life I already did. I say all the time, I miss my future kids. Like, it's weird. I really think about having children a lot. And I was on the phone one night with this guy and he was like, what are you going to do if like you never find a husband or something? And he was kind of making a joke. And I was like, genuinely, if I never do, or if I couldn't have kids or something, I would be upset. I would be sad. Damn, that sucks. But I would be like, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. And I'm not exactly sure what that reason may be, but it's for a reason and there's a bigger plan. It's not in my control. I just heard this quote online because I was kind of just like looking into things before I sat down to record. And some guy was interviewing a dude and goes, what do you think about long distance relationships? And the guy was like, I mean, if there's like faith and trust or whatever, he said, go for it. And he said, but if it doesn't work out, the Bible says love never fails. So if it fails, just know it was never love. And I agree with that to an extent, but I think the point being made is more so, if something doesn't work out, it's for a reason. And there's that saying of like, let something free. If it comes back, it's meant to be. I 100% agree with that. Everything happens for a reason. I truly do believe that. I really do. And I feel like when the older you get, that sticks with you more. At least for me, it does, because I'm just like, there's so many things I could look back on in my life. And even that time of heartbreak and sadness go, I sat around for way too long. Oh, I canceled on that trip to California and I so could have went and I would have had fun. There was a reason I wasn't supposed to. There was a reason I didn't. And there's a reason that you meet people. There's a reason that people come into your life, and there's a reason that people are taken out of your life. And whether that reason is going to affect you or maybe it's going to affect them, look at it bigger picture. It's like, I was only thinking about myself. I was thinking, oh, why the fuck did I meet this person, love this person, for them to just become a stranger and almost be like dead to me at this point? Maybe it wasn't about me. Maybe it was about them. Maybe it wasn't about me or him. It was about something in between, someone in between that him and I met. We had an impact on their life. Who knows? We don't know all the answers. And that's like the beautiful thing about life and about love and about connections with people, is that you never know the impact you're having, but just trying to be positive and trying to just think, okay, it happened for a reason. I mean, think about how much peace you can have with that statement. Everything happens for a reason. If you want to say, no, I don't believe that, I don't trust that, okay, but in a way, you're kind of just giving yourself misery, because the fact that I can sit back and have faith in that and trust that, I don't need to know all the answers. I don't have to sit down and be angry of why did this happen? Why did that happen? I'm at peace with it because for a reason, there was some reason in between, whether I see it or whether I don't, some reason in between that it needed to happen, that I needed to know this person. I needed to meet this person. I needed to be there for that person when they didn't turn around and be there for me. There was a reason for it. Maybe I don't know why, but it's okay. And I think another thing too is our world's really bad at forgiving, and our world is a place where it's almost like we treat others how they treat us, and there's no growth there. I don't agree with that at all, and I used to probably say that. I mean, I've done this podcast for years now, so I can't imagine the things I was saying when I first started, but I definitely think now, and I hope and I pray from this point forward in my life, I don't have that mindset. Hell, I've had family before that I feel like has treated me really bad. Not my immediate family, but just like people who in my life, I'm like, damn, you're supposed to be like a really loving person in my life, and why do I feel like you're one of the meanest people I've ever met? And I'm not gonna lie, at first I'm like, fuck you, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't care to see you again. I don't care to hear from you again. Like, you are not a good person. And it's like, but what good does that do, just cutting them off? How much more could I help, and where could I actually make an impact being a good person back to them? Because truthfully, when people let out hate, we're all just hurt. We're all just hurt human beings. We all have something in us that's broken. And most of the time when someone's mean, when someone's just spiteful, when someone's angry, they're most of the time just broken. There's something inside that just, it's not healed, and all they want is healing. And I don't know. I don't think any good comes from, treat people the way that they treat you. If you're an asshole to me, why should I be nice to you? Because why not? Why not? Wait, yeah? Does that make sense? Why not? Yeah, why not? Why not be nice back? Why not be the bigger person? You will never regret being the bigger person. And I truly believe that. I really, truly believe that. So during this breakup and during this time of my life of feeling lost and only thinking about myself, I released a documentary. It's on my main YouTube channel, and it's called My Story, My Road to 1 Million, My Story, something like that. I actually don't even know. I had this video planned out for years. I've done YouTube since like 2017. It took me a good amount of time to hit 1 million. What was really weird about it is my start from like literally having 100 people subscribe to me to having 500,000 people subscribe to me was in the span of like 5 months. And then to get that extra 500,000 to hit 1 million was like a few years. And I'm grateful for that. And once again, we can go back to, I think everything happens for a reason, because my whole plan when I was 16 was when I hit 500,000 subscribers. And I'm like, 1 million's going to hit in 3 months. Like, that happened so quickly. I would have released a video of hitting 1 million subscribers that was like, follow your fucking dreams. Never let people tell you you can't do it. Like, life is so great. I'm on cloud 9. Blah, 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 blah. It would have just been all like, fuck yeah, my dreams came true. Well, it takes this 5 years or however many years it took to get to the 1 million. And throughout the years, I kind of was like, I don't even really know if I like YouTube anymore. I don't really know if this is my passion. Heartbreak, friendship breakups, family issues, growing up is weird, feeling lost, all these waves of life I went through before I hit 1 million. But I knew I was making this video. I have literally planned it since it kind of started blowing up. Like, I was like, when I hit 1 million, I'm going to make a whole documentary on this. I hit 1 million. It's like March 2024, I want to say, like literally March of last year, I think, if I'm not wrong. Nothing was really going on in my life. I was living with my parents up in their attic at their house. We lived in the middle of nowhere. My parents still live there. It's literally the middle of nowhere, about an hour from the beach. I don't know anyone there. I don't have any friends there. I never hung out with anyone. I spent all of my time alone or with my family. I don't know. It's just like, for so many years I dreamed of like, I'm going to hit 1 million. I'm going to go to like a bar and rent out the space and have like a huge party. And I hit 1 million subscribers. My family wasn't even in town. I was home alone. I just sat on my bed and I hit it. I immediately went and I grabbed my mic and my battery and my camera, and I went out in our pole barn out back, and I sat down and I recorded the documentary footage. Like the documentary is basically like I show a bunch of clips of me growing up, so it's like a movie almost, but the main footage is me sitting there speaking. Second I hit 1 million, I think I might have drove to Subway and got a sub before. But I drove to Subway, I got a sandwich, I came home, I got the battery, and I went and I sat down and I recorded the video. And I recorded the video. I had cried. I talked about when I was younger and all of that stuff. You can go watch the video if you want. It's a lot. But I immediately was like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I hit every point right. Maybe I'll redo it, and maybe I'll just give myself some time and we'll do the documentary like a month from now or something. Like, nothing's going on in my life. It's pretty boring right now. Like, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more exciting. And the next day I started editing it, and I was just like, no, I'm just going to go with it. I took one and I'm going to leave it and we're going to see how it goes. I make this documentary, and YouTube definitely has not been my thing for, like, I would say beginning of 2023, about halfway through that year, I really slowed down on YouTube. I wasn't really doing much of it. And 2024, it was here and there, but you know, when you stop on an app like that for so long, where you were so consistent, a lot of people just fall off and like just don't really care to go back and watch the videos. And I personally didn't even care if people were watching them. I make this documentary and I put it out, and I don't really think much of it. I'm like, I was super, super proud of it, almost in awe of myself, not to sound like a narcissist, but I was more just like, wow, I can't believe that was my life. Like, I cannot believe that all of these things have happened, and it's led to this exact moment right here. And I just made this video about all of this, like seeing everything play out in front of me. I'm like, wow, I had gratitude. I had a moment of gratefulness. Like, I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, I've gotten so many things I've wanted, but all those things I've wanted, like I said earlier, it wasn't what made me happy. And I realized that as I was filming it, like as I was even sitting down and recording the video and speaking about my life, there wasn't necessarily a script. I had written a little bit in my notes like I do on podcasts sometimes, but I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to say. It kind of just came out of me. I put this video out, and within like 48 hours, it was just blowing up, and it was all over TikTok. And I could like actually cry because there was just such a big response to it, and so many fans, and just like people that I feel like have watched for a while, and then people that had never watched. It was just like an overflow of not praise to me, and that's not what I wanted, but it felt like I had put something out that helped. And I remember for days I just would sit on my phone and I would go on my DMs and I would try and respond to as many people as I could, and I would watch videos sent to me. And like, there was this one girl, and I think her name was Ella. I have the video on my phone, but she sent me a video and she was just bawling her eyes out, and she was like, you have no idea how badly I needed to watch that video. Like, I needed to watch that video right now. It makes me emotional. Like I said, not because I sit here and I think, oh yeah, like, fuck yeah, I'm that person doing that. It's more like, that's all I wanted when I was 14, was I wanted to be able to go and watch something like that. And I wanted to have someone almost say all those things to me, because I would sit down and I would research, like, how do I become a famous YouTuber? How do I become an influencer? How does Jay Alvarez make money? How does Alexis Ren make money modeling? How do I become an Instagram model? Like, I would sit and wonder all these things, and being then in the position to have a voice and talk to people, try and say, it's not all about this. It's what I needed when I was that age. So I think that's why I get emotional about it. But I then felt like an overwhelming feeling of love, the light in my life that I had when I first kind of liked this boy. Like, I was like, wow, I feel this love. Like, I feel like the feeling of falling in love. If you've ever had that feeling, you're on cloud 9. It's amazing. Like, you realize, like, oh my God, like, this is like a real feeling you can feel. Like, it's insane. And like I said, with that boy and that heartbreak, I'm like, I will never feel that feeling again. And then I went and I made this video, and like I said, it wasn't like I felt the love from other people and was loving myself. I was like, I feel love and I feel happy because I made them happy because I just made that person happy, or I put a smile on their face. I might have helped them. I might have just had an impact on their life. And that's when the perspective started changing for me. And I was like, this is not about me. This is not about me at all. And if I spend the rest of my life thinking only about myself, worrying about myself, what the fuck is the point? What is the point? You will just get stressed. You will just get sad. You will always look in the mirror and go, you can do better. You could have worked out harder. You could have ate less today. You could have made more money today. If you're only focused on you 24/7, you almost become your biggest critic, biggest enemy. And it's like, that's not what we're supposed to do. I posted a video the other day and I said, it's okay to not always be like a self-improvement project, or I saw it and I remade it. And I think that's a big thing too right now with social media, is like, it's great to always be becoming a better person, a better version of yourself, growing. I would be lying if I said I don't try and become a better person every day or grow every day, learn something new every day. But I think it's more of the self-critiquing of like, you can do better. You could have done better. You could have made more money. You could have a better job. You could have more friends. Why don't you have a boyfriend? Why don't you have a girlfriend? There's so many things we can beat ourselves up about, and that's not going to make us better people for the people around us. I want to be a better human being to people around me and be an example to others around me. That's how I want to be. The way that I view God, the way that I view Jesus, and how much faith and trust I have in him, he's so loving. That is how I view him. He loves everyone. He loves everyone. He's accepting of everyone. Do him wrong, he'll do you better. Do him so dirty, Jesus wants to turn around and give you the biggest hug ever and talk to you and go, what's wrong? Why do you feel this way? Why do you have so much anger in your heart? And it's like, that is how I wanted to be in that moment. I'm like, I don't know. Like, editing that video, like I said, watching my whole life play out, I'm like, when I was 14, I was angry. I was negative. I was so, like, I wasn't nice to be around at all. I was a bad, like, mean person. I was mean-spirited, and it was because I was broken inside. I was broken, and I wanted someone to just love me. I wanted someone to see all those things and love me. And before I blew up on YouTube, this is going to bring me into faith and like Christ and all that stuff. And if you don't believe in that, before you click off, please just listen. I sit here and I'm like, how can I speak about having faith and trust in God when I feel like I've gotten everything I wanted? There's people out there who can't catch a break. And how am I supposed to say, hey, well, listen, God loves you and God has a plan for you. And I don't know why all these bad things happen in your life, but it's for a reason, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. How am I supposed to say that to someone when they're going to look at me and go, well, yeah, because your light at the end of the tunnel, you already reached it? That's not true. That's not true. I found God before I got this. I found God before I had all these things. I found God when I was sitting in my parents' house and no one was there one day, and I thought, I want to die. Genuinely. I know that got really deep really quick, and I'm sorry, but genuinely, that was when I was like, I have to have faith in this. I have to trust that this is real. And it wasn't even that I had this battle in my head of so long as, is God real? It was more of a battle of, I think you're real, but I don't trust you. That was how it was. I don't trust you. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be worried. And he didn't come down and sit in front of me and say, hey, Sadie, I got you, and I'm going to take all this away from you tomorrow when you wake up and life's going to be all rainbows and butterflies. You're welcome. Love you. I'm real. No. It took me to sit there and go, I gotta have faith in this. I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna trust this guy in the sky. Really, that's what it was. Like, I didn't read the Bible. I read the Bible from time to time. I try and like look at verses and stuff like that, but I'm not here as your typical person who goes in Jeremiah 3:11, and I wish I knew more, and I want to learn more, and I'm going to take this as an example of I need to learn more, but I'm not your average Joe Christian who knows all these things. I'm just going to tell you, I trusted him. I just had faith, and it was almost like a leap I had to take for myself of jumping over this hurdle of, I could be selfish and I could say, I really don't like my life and I'm not strong enough to do it anymore and I'm tapping out. But instead, I was like, that's selfish. I'm not going to be selfish. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to try and trust him, and I'm just going to see what happens. Look what happened. look what happened with my life. And once again, I don't think at all everything that he has blessed me with was for me to come here and go, guys, God's real. I didn't think I was going to become famous online as a YouTuber, famous, whatever you want to say. I hate saying that. But like, I didn't think I was going to be online and this famous YouTuber. Oh, also look at my brand new car. Oh guys, I just went to New York City. I can travel. All my dreams came true and I'm so happy and oh my gosh, God's real. No, it wasn't that. It was the fact that I trusted him and he gave me these things for me to then turn around, go through this heartbreak, go through this depression again, and go, once again, God, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. I have everything I thought I wanted. I have this platform where I have these people who watch me, but truthfully, I don't know if I can do this. I remember I was sitting on my bathroom floor and I was texting my friend Brinley, who's like a sister to me, and I was like, I haven't felt this pain since I was 14 years old and I wanted to take my own life. And I love my friends. My friends were so sweet to me during this whole thing. But she was just like, you have to just go through the motions and you have to give it time. And I will say, I would sit there in my room and I would be like, why is God putting me through this? Why on earth would God have me go through this? And that is when, once again, the switch flipped in my brain and I started to try and have gratitude for things. I started little by little just going, you know what? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, thank you, God, for my legs to walk on today. And thank you, God, for my ability to go downstairs and see my family who loves me. Thank you, God, for the fact that there's another day. I have another day to live. Thank you. I started literally every day. I would wake up in the morning and I would write down 5 things that I was grateful for. With time, I released that documentary. That was when God stuck out to me the most, because I thought that wasn't necessarily me. That was God, because God has a story for all of us and he has a plan for all of us. And whether you believe that or not, I'm telling you, I believe it and I trust it. And when I trust it, my anxiety goes away, my worries go away. And here's the thing. If we all go in the end and he's not real, what was the hurt in believing in something? What was the hurt in having faith in him? What was the hurt in trusting him and all of my anxieties being wiped? I don't think that's a coincidence. I know he's up there. I know he's real. I know that he's the one who heals me every single day. But I'm just saying, for those who are very opposed to it and who don't believe, what hurt does it do in trying? What hurt does it do in just going, you know what? I'll trust it. I'll try and have faith. When I'm worried, I'll try and say a prayer. I'll see if it works. Try it. There's no hurt. Nothing's going to hurt you. There's no harm in doing it. I promise you. This leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk about. I run into a lot of people who don't believe in God. I run into a lot of people who aren't religious at all. And I just the other day was sitting on the beach and I had my Bible and I had like this Bible guide I have. It's like a 40-day Bible guide and I've had it for like over a year. So I'm telling y'all, I'm not perfect, but I was on the beach and I was reading it and I was doing the study. And, you know, sometimes I have that every day where like, God, come on, talk to me today. And I open the Bible and I do the whole like study thing. And I'm like, I don't really know if that was the topic I wanted that to be. Like, I don't know if that spoke to me. And I was walking off the beach and I'm like, what do I say to these people when they come to me and they're not religious and they ask me about my religion? Because I never know what to say and I don't want to offend anyone. Most of the time when they're like, I don't believe in God, I respond with something like, I get that. Like, I get it. And I'm like, no, why do I say that? Like, why do I say that? Because I should be saying something to them of like, hey, he loves you. And weirdly enough, randomly when I've been out recently, I feel like I've been getting signs in my head to like tell a person near me like, hey, God loves you. I don't know why. I haven't done it because I've been too scared, but like that's been happening to me. And so I was walking off the beach and I was thinking about this and this thought just popped into my head. And this is when I feel like God speaks to me and it's not like a voice. It's just like I have my own thought, but I'm like, I don't think I thought of that. And it was, when you meet people who have God or have faith in God, have Jesus, trust Jesus, Christians, whatever you want to call it, I feel like all they want is for someone who doesn't have that to have it. Like when I meet someone who's like, I don't believe in God, I have no trust in that at all I want is for that person to have it. Like all I want is for that person to one day come to me and go, I started praying and I'm so grateful and I feel so lucky that I got that experience with God. Like I just like when someone doesn't have it, all I want is for them to have it, because I'm like, it's love and it's peace and it's joy in your life. I've never met someone who doesn't believe that so badly wants me to not believe. That popped into my head. And I was like, that to me almost just goes to show it's real. He's real. Because it's just weird. Like, that's just weird. It's this free person that we have that's just like, I love you. I love you and you can trust me and I have a plan for you. Like that, it's just, I want everyone to have that. Like, that's how I feel. And it's not in a way of, I'm not judging someone for not believing in God. I'm going, dang, like, what could I say that would make them give it a shot? You know what I mean? There's been times in my life where I feel like I've definitely had encounters with it, but it's not what made me believe. I don't know if I ever told this story, but I got in a car accident when I was like 15, and we got in this car accident and I went and sat on the curb, and both cars were totaled. It was actually a little bit traumatic at the time. I went and sat on the curb and I was in complete shock, and this other girl in the other car was screaming at the top of her lungs. I thought it was like kids that were in the accident. And I was with my friend, and I don't know where she went, but I watched these people run up to the cars to try and help, and one guy just puts a Bible down on the ground, and he put the Bible down on the ground, and I turned next to me, and there was a man next to me, and I just held his hand. And maybe this guy was real, and my friend didn't remember, but I remember holding this guy's hand for like a good solid minute. And I was just like, can I just hold your hand? Because I was so in shock. I wanted to feel like I was alive. Like I genuinely was like, what the hell just happened? And later I was telling my friend about that, like that guy that held my hand, and she was like, what? I don't know if there was a guy that held my hand and maybe she just didn't see him, but I started thinking like, was that guy not real? Like, was that not real? Because I know for a fact I sat there and I held someone's hand. Maybe he's watching this and he's like, hey babe, I'm real. It wasn't an angel. But I was like, if he wasn't real, that was really an angel I met. I feel like that's a lot of babbling. That's my new word, babble. But I don't know. I just really wanted to do an episode about all of this because I feel like it's been heavy on my heart. I never regret getting deep. I never regret talking about this stuff because I know what might be boring to one might really help another. And I sometimes need someone to go listen to. And for me, it's my mom. My mom is my podcast. Genuinely. My mom is the person I listen to, and God. I feel like I try and really take things from God sometimes when I come on here and speak. So yeah, I just wanted to do something about that, but I love you guys. And if you listened all the way through, hope you enjoyed. I love you. Thank you. I'll see you next week. And yeah, I don't know. Hope that helps someone. Maybe not. But at least I tried, right? At least I trusted it. Okay. I love you. Goodbye.